is happening? What is going on in here? First, it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and we have to abide by whatever God has ordained upon us. First, the testimony, there is no God but only one God, for they worship Muhammad is his messenger, and the seal of all prophets and messengers before him. Prayer, 5 daily prayers, to connect yourself, your heart, your mind, your soul, with God Almighty, facing the Qibla, Kaaba in Arabia, and ask Him for whatever you want to ask Him. Take a break from that life, from that grief and agony and hardship, and connect your heart with Him, ask Him for. The third pillar is fasting, the month of Ramadan. Down to dust, no food, no grain. So it is a command from Him. It is an order from Him. And no matter, even if I do not know the wisdom behind it, or the reason behind it, I have to abide by His teaching. I have to abide by His teaching. We have it this way in order to celebrate one great thing in our life as Muslims, where it says in the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. It is the month of Ramadan, years and years and years back, the whole Quran came down from beyond the 7th heaven to the 1st heaven, waiting for the birth of the Prophet of Muhammad, in order for Gabriel to bring it to him within 23 years, 13 years in Mecca, 10 years in Medina, to receive it little by little. But as a whole, it came down during the month of Ramadan from God Almighty, waiting for Muhammad, peace be upon him, in order to bring it to us Muslims. That's why we celebrate that gift came to us years and years back during the month of Ramadan. Which night? We know which night. It is in Laylatul Qadr. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ. That odd night of the month of Ramadan, either the night of the 21st or 23rd, 25th, 27th or 29th. Any of those odd nights, Quran, the whole Quran came waiting for Muhammad. And of course you may ask, how come God did not tell you which night? That's up to him. He can decide. I cannot argue with him. I cannot tell him why not. No. In order to keep during those last 10 nights of Ramadan, intensifying our acts of worship. We're fasting the whole day. We're fasting the whole day. And we're worshiping Him at night. After we're done our iftaring here, by around 11:15, late, the latest prayer, Isha prayer, or evening prayer, will be indulged in the prayer till about midnight, or maybe beyond midnight. So we're combining both. But again, the question, why fasting the whole day and we're worshiping God, at night, in order to do what in here? One word. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. You may reach that highest level ever of abiding by the teaching of God. Maybe you'd reach that highest level in order to be in control of everything in your life. Not only to be away from food and drink, not to respond to your biological needs, which is a necessity for me to live, but this would train me to say no to many other bad things. No drugs, no fighting, no other bad things anyone can do. That wonderful training, which I combine the mental, psychological, emotional part of it with the biological part of it, in order to train me as a human being to manage my life this way, I live the best life ever. I bring the highest happiness and tranquility to my life ever. I abide by His teaching, I follow exactly what he's saying. I do it. I train myself, of course, if I'm capable. But if I'm traveling, I'm exempted from fasting. A pregnant lady, no. Breastfeeding lady, no. Someone with sickness and illness, you're exempted. All right? If you can make it up, later you can. If you can, God will forgive. So women are having fasting this way. It does really train me in a wonderful way. And this is the way Islam is teaching us. It goes, for each and every second of my life, I have to remember God Almighty. To remind myself, we are as a human being have the tendency to forget. But I say, God, God, God. Okay? Remembering Him. Abiding by Him. Relating to Him. And it would come to something more to do. 5 daily prayers. Look at that system. 5 daily prayers. You have a window of time. I pray that way in order to connect myself, my heart, my soul, and my mind with God Almighty, and asking Him for whatever I want to ask Him for. I really disconnect myself with all the materialistic aspects of life. That they keep us busy and they keep sometimes us crazy. We do not want to be in this area, want to move there. And it gives me one act of worship in a weekly basis. Like Sabbath, like Sunday, we have the Friday congregation every week to have more intensive dose from our Imam, to our scholar, to remind us about something to do, to help us overcome something, to answer some question, to relate what is going on to the teaching of Islam and see which way we should go. We have seen many challenges around us. Election, results of the election, banning Muslims not to come to this country. You go on and on and on and on. And the best way to view all of these, go to the teaching of God to tell you what to do about it. That is an answer for each and every question you do have. That's why we take Islam as a comprehensive way of life. So now, per second, per minute, in a daily basis, the prayer, 5 daily prayers, and when it comes to once a week or twice a week, Mondays or Thursdays, fasting. We do not wait till the month of Ramadan in a yearly basis to start fasting. No. We have that training as early as we can, like once a week or twice a week, in order to train myself. And then it would come to the month, that very heavy, intensive training. For me, this is the fasting during the day, no biological needs, say no to everything bad around you, and in the meantime, intensify the acts of worship. For the rest of the year, 11 months, you're ready to go. You have more than enough. So that's why, if you look at the wisdom of the month of Ramadan, when we're fasting and when we're doing fasting, we're hungry. We're hungry, no doubt about it. We're thirsty, no doubt about it. Well, how do you feel when you're hungry and thirsty? I want to eat. I want to break my fasting. Enough is enough. You up there, you're not fair. You know, that's too much. I'm working the whole day. I'm a full-time job, you know, working and maybe more than one full-time. But as a matter of fact, while you're fasting, hungry and thirsty, especially in a hot day where I need a sip of water max by 9 o'clock in the morning. And I already start fasting at 4 o'clock. I need just a couple of sips of water. While you're fasting, don't write. It might help you. You would think deeply about millions and millions of people who are hungry and thirsty. And maybe by the end of the day, they will never find a piece of bread to eat or a sip of fresh water to drink, especially children, either here or somewhere else. When I'm fasting, I do have that feeling. Now it is time to act, to be proactive, to help those who are in need, to feed those who are hungry. Otherwise, it won't be fair. If I have a full stomach by the end of the day, go sleep well, while millions and millions of people, especially children, are hungry and thirsty. This is one lesson we learn during the month of Ramadan. That's why during the month of Ramadan, you calculate a specific amount of money for each and every single person in the household. Now it has been $10, only $10. So if you have 5 people within your family, times 10, so it is $50. You give it away for those who are in need. If you know where they are, go and give it to them. If you do not know where they are, go to any Islamic relief organization and say, here's some money to help those who are in need. Believe it or not, it does really help many children all over the world. We read many stories when some people would eat from garbage can, if they find something. But how about me, when God has bestowed upon me that wonderful bounty, money and housing and food, and I can live my life the best way ever, while some other people are hungry, not to take care of them. Do take care of them. A wonderful lesson we learned during the month of Ramadan. And you calculate, beside that $10 per person in the household to give away for those who are in need, you check your bank account. Some people would be saying, oh, the bank account will do this. And look at your saving. How much in your saving? 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever you have in your bank account, and it has been sitting there in this condition for a full year. For a full year. During the month of Ramadan, you calculate how much you have, and you take out of this amount of money in your saving account 2.5% to go to those who are in a yearly basis. My saving, 2.5%, give it away for those who are in need, or contributed to your masjid, to your mosque, to your Islamic center. But you help in that cause. And a lot of people would say, it came as an argument for some Muslim. Say, hey, I pay my taxes to Uncle Sam. Why should I pay that 2.5%, to those who are in need? And they can apply for food stamps, they can get some assistance somewhere, and so on and so forth. Taxes to Uncle Sam, they will take care of our roads and schools and one more thing I'm not going to mention, because this is not my business. Take care of our military, too. We have to defend our nation. But my money, I calculate coming out of my saving will go directly to that person who's in need. Maybe they shy away to apply for food stamps or some assistance. Or maybe they do, and they receive some, but they are not enough. I am here to help. I am here to help. So that's why a month of Ramadan would help me in order to understand and in order to help, in order to take care of a lot of things around me. I train myself as hard as I can. I do my best in order to be in a much better position in my life. And one more thing, and I could conclude with, it helps me to develop a wonderful relationship between people around me. My spouse, my children, my family members, my extended family members, my relatives, my neighbors. The question would be, do I care about all of them, or I don't care? During the month of Ramadan, I learned how I do care about all of them. At that point, I would stop and I would open the floor for your wonderful, great, precise questions. Ask me, grill me if you'd like to. Have those questions you have in mind for maybe so many years, you did not find someone to answer them. I will do my best to answer it. First question.
Just a
Go ahead.
comment, if I may.
Please.
Rabbi has asked whether you prepare yourselves for fasting, whether you do anything before Ramadan. And Dr. Hamdi has mentioned that we are encouraged to fast Mondays and Thursdays year long, but also the previous month to Ramadan, which is Sha'ban, is highly encouraged also to fast for Muslims. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to fast a lot during Sha'ban, so that's kind of a preparation.
Thank you so much for having me. All-timer friend, went together at the University of Minnesota. I was studying computer science, brain. I was studying psychology. And he's visiting with us coming from Al-Iman University along with his wife, sister, and his children. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. Questions or comments? Yes.
Kind of a strange question, perhaps. I'm a retired pharmacist.
I love strange questions. Even some people, they would call that question a stupid question. I love a stupid question.
I'm a retired pharmacist, and many years of my career I worked at a clinic that the population was primarily Muslim. And the month of Ramadan was always very challenging for us because a number of people were not willing to take their medication during the day because they were fasting. And we worked with doctors and we worked with them to work out schedules that would be okay for them. But a close friend of mine who also worked there, who was Muslim, said that the Quran said that your obligation was to take care of your body and therefore that you should be taking your medication on a regular schedule and not be concerned about the fasting. And I was just wondering if that is a difference in different types of Islam, or is it like an Orthodox Jew from a conservative Jew, or is it just a personal opinion on?
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful question in here about, the medication if I'm taking during the month of Ramadan as a Muslim, and I have to keep them in a regular basis. If it is 3 doses a day, how come I can take the middle one while I'm fasting? The best way, there is no at all, differences even in opinions in Islam about this. But the issue is to go to a scholar who does really know what type of question you're asking and what type of answer should be given. If it comes from your pharmacist, forgive me if I say that, if I have a problem with my car to be fixed, and I come to you as a pharmacist, would you please, you're a very good friend of mine, would you fix my car? I have nothing to do with the car. I have a lot to do with pharmacy, with medication. Go to a specialist, as we all do. Go to a scholar who does know what should be done. I would ask those patients to find somewhere, call me. I would be more than happy. And I would really consult with the physician as well. If we can have like 3 doses a day, would it be possible to be reduced to 2 doses instead, without having any negative impact on the patient health and so on and so forth? If not, and there is no way, that person is totally exempted from fasting the month of Ramadan. If he or she can make it up later, and of course if his or she's having medical issues and they cannot, there is a way out to do this. Just make some contribution to those who are in need in order to make it up there. But there is no differences in answer. It is only one answer. See the specialist, have a consultation with the doctor, and you would have a great answer. This actually brought to me a wonderful issue in Ramadan. It has been scientifically searched and has been scientifically looked at, where with type 2 diabetes people, fasting the month of Ramadan, and let me repeat it does really help them tremendously. Why? They found in the research there, many studies, either overseas or even here, even in Johns Hopkins, and even in Rochester. There's a lot of studies there are saying that, the fasting and breaking your fasting with the dates, as we will do, it would really help you to reduce about 25% of, guess what? The consumption you do have as a matter of food, and it would increase your life. It won't shorten your life. No, it would make it, though everything is in the hands of God Almighty, no doubt about it. But looking at those things. So that type 2 diabetes, it is helpful. Fasting itself, not only of losing weight or regulating a lot of things in my body, it does really help the body to get rid of many elements of poisonous things in the body. And the only way ever, not medication, not any type of medication, all of those poisonous things inside the body of us as a human being, because we eat, and most of the time or sometimes we do not know what we eat. And that's why, what we eat would have sometimes some negative impact in our body. It would help getting rid of all those poisonous things. And I can go on and on and on. You may check John Hopkins in terms of research in fasting. You will find many research talking about this.
Excuse me, please.
Yes.
So the direct order which is saying that من كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام الأخرى. So why this won't be the order, straight order? If you are fasting or you cannot fast, if you're sick or you're traveling, you don't fast. Simple.
Thank you so much for saying that. فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر, whoever is sick, having some sickness or illness, or traveling, he or she would be exempted from fasting. But here is the nature of the human being. Sometimes we as a human we say, no, I can make it. No, I'm traveling, I'm okay driving. It is, 80 miles and it should be rate of my fasting. No, I can make it, I can do it. Maybe early morning you can. But late during the day, with an 80 mile, I am not focusing. So I have to abide by the teaching no matter what. But in the meantime, check with a specialist to tell you what would be the best for you in terms of be exempted or not to be exempted. Some pregnant ladies and breastfeeding ladies, some of them would say, I'm fine, I'm okay. It would never negatively impact my pregnancy or my breastfeeding, I'm okay, and so on and so forth. So you are the one who can judge that situation, but also with consultation of an expert as well. All right? I did not hear hot burning questions yet. Maybe you don't ask questions, I will ask questions.
Maybe another comment?
Yes, please.
On fasting.
Please, Dr. Khalid.
Yeah, so fasting in Islam is not just to stop eating and drinking. The Prophet ﷺ, I don't remember the exact wording of the saying. The general meaning is you should stop doing evil things. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has nothing to gain from your stopping eating and drinking if you don't stop those evil things. So as Muslims, while we are fasting, we are supposed also to restrain ourselves from, doing things that you would consider normal in normal days, but which are not good. So it's further training, not just to control your eating and drinking habits, but also refraining from doing evil things. Maybe Imam can remember the hadith.
Sure. That's a wonderful reminder, and even when I mention our congregation or my teaching or preaching, I say the easiest spot for fasting, believe me, and if you try the fasting, you can support what I'm saying. To abstain from food and drink. But the other difficult thing, the more difficult things, how you have your brain fasting. How about your vision? How about your hearing? How about your tongue? How about your heart? This is the most difficult part of any human being when it comes to fasting. And a lot of people would say, you know, what do you mean by my brain and thinking to be fasting? Aha. I know you, and I know you, and I know you. But most of the time I have a second thought about you. Bad ones, negative ones. Yet you do not have it. What's a claim? Or Satan would come and whisper to you. Always, always, always. No matter what. Think of your brothers and sisters in humanity, no matter what, in the best way ever. In the best way ever. Don't judge my appearance at all. No, no, no. Maybe you're much better than me, but I do not know. Think of me in a positive way. Think of me in a good way. Don't even assume anything. Till you do have some experience and say, you know, I've done such and such and we have to reconcile them. How about my eyes? How my eyes would be fasting? Do they eat? No. Do they drink? No. What do you see around you? Good things or bad things? A scene with a couple of people or a group of people, and you know this is not good. This is not coming from the Christian teaching or Judaism teaching or Islamic teaching. I am away from this. I never be indulged in this. I never say, okay, let me enjoy what's going on here. You know, it's, oh yeah, sharpen your eyes well. About hearing. We love to talk. We love to have that backbiting, some, and I'm not saying all of us, or slandering. Oh, you know what happened to our, you know, classmate, you know, he's bad in doing such and that. You know, our neighbor, you know, they are doing drugs and doing this and that and so on and so forth. Or my co-worker, what? I am not here to hear all of these. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Otherwise, if I thought about you this way and see those things in you and hear it, what is the next step? The tongue would be talking. Say, oh, by the way, you know, Dr. Johnson, you know, I have seen such and such. You haven't seen it? No, I have heard about such and such in our department. And you know, Dr. Johnson, enough of this. Well, not what I took about. Okay? أمسك عليك لسانك. This is the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hold your tongue firmly. وهل يكب الناس على وجوههم يوم القيامة إلا حصائد ألسنتهم. Another hadith. وهل يكب الناس على مناخرهم يوم القيامة إلا حصائد ألسنتهم. Hold your tongue. Do not let it go in a way of, especially with the social media. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hold it firmly. Don't have it indulged in a lot of things. In the day of judgment, what would drag people, either in their faces or in their nose, what they have been indulged in this dunya, in the backbiting and slandering. Be careful. And some people say, oh, this is going to be in the day of judgment, later. But how about here? Do you think if I'm indulged in saying bad things about people and backbiting, this would bring up and create a good community, a good relationship between me and my co-workers, my neighbors, my classmates? It would cripple all of those relationships so fast. And then when it comes to the heart in here, briefly, what you allow to come to your heart? Good things or bad things? Islam is teaching us that. This is a wonderful start. If you keep adding into it good things, definitely, certainly without any doubt, what comes out will be good things too. But if you keep adding, if you keep pouring to that heart bad things, what do you expect from me to see? So I have to be careful. So that's why, in that way, fasting is a very comprehensive way intensive training for me, not only to abstain from food and drink. This is the easiest part, but the other things are develop a good relationship with people around you. Yes?
I think many Christians and Jews often wonder the difference between Shiite and Sunni and sort of the creation at the very beginning, and then what happens, does every mosque identify as being Sunni or Shiite? You know, so I think that's a big question that often comes up for people, that the beauty of how those two kind of sects began at the death of Muhammad, and just to give us that whole piece.
Thank you. Great question. If you forgive me before I say that statement, I will say it. If you're not going to forgive me, I'm not going to say it. So I will forgive you. Forgive you.
Forgive you.
Differences between Shia and Sunni and Islam never, ever be even like or the magnitude of the differences between Catholicism, Lutheran, Mormon, huge differences. That's why. It is not, Rabbi, forgive me, not even the big difference between ultra-Orthodox Jews, Reformer, Progressive, and so on and so on. We know, huge differences there. And it is in the religion. But when it comes to the Shia and Sunni, when it comes to the religion, it is not a lot of differences, especially when it comes to the principles of Islam. You say 5 daily prayers, 5 daily prayers. You know, it's testimony, prayer, fasting, Hajj, charitable contribution. You cannot add, you cannot subtract. But it is mainly those political differences earlier, which actually brought those differences, as you can see. Okay? And some of them are claiming that, you know, after the revelation from God Almighty to the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, the one who should succeed him, not the first one, Abu Bakr, not the second one, Umar, not the third one, Uthman, but Ali. Because Ali was his cousin. And he was the husband of Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet of Islam. Politics. Politics. Had nothing to do with the teaching in here. I can share with you a wonderful story. It's a real one. It's a real one. Al-Hasan al-Basri, one of the greatest Muslim scholars ever. At that time, about 1,000 years ago, there was a debate between Shia and Sunni in one of the mosques, and they invited him as a scholar, Hasan al-Basri, who would love for you to come and have